Released in 2003, Animatrix is a 9-story science fiction anthology that expands upon the setting of the Matrix films and games. Those stories take place before, during, and possibly even after the events of all the movies. The creators of the Matrix films and games, the Wachowski siblings, were directly involved with the anthology. The Wachowskis also contracted animation studios that were behind such seminal films such as Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, Aeon Flux, and Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Each story is authored and animated by a different animation studio, giving each story its own very distinct style. These styles were vehicles for stories and narrative directions that explore the Matrix settings in new ways. General designs may remain similar, but it seems each story was given a very wide margin of how to interpret the Matrix universe. Animatrix sits at 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 78% out of 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 76% out of 100% on Track.tv. Is Animatrix a solid entry that expands the lore and world of the Matrix setting, or is it a collection of stories that fail to capture the spirit of the source material? Alright, first and foremost, I cannot understate what a joy it was upon seeing the Matrix for the first time, going in completely blind. So with that said, if you have not seen The Matrix, the original Matrix movie, please stop watching this review, because even though I'm going to do my best to give a spoiler-free review of the Animatrix, it may end up spoiling what actually happens in the Matrix movie. When I first saw the Animatrix, there is a method that the humans employ to combat the machines that is so destructive and heinous to the environment, I considered it to be completely unrealistic. However, fast forward about 20 years, I'm a little bit more aware of what's going on in the world and what humans are doing to the environment, myself included. Yeah, if we're willing to destroy the planet for fucking money and convenience, in retrospect, humans destroying the planet to secure a Pyrrhic victory against artificial intelligence, it does not seem as unrealistic as I initially thought. So yeah, yeah, about that, right? In the Animatrix, you can really feel that the Wascowski siblings were really involved in the production, writing, and direction of the Animatrix. They really gave a shit about this film. It wasn't some throwaway money grab or anything similar to that. Like, they treated this anthology as seriously as they did the films. And as a fan of The Matrix, I could feel that love and passion behind this anthology and their efforts to tie into, you know, various parts of the universe. You feel the love and care that the Wachowskis actually put to Animatrix and actually have it be just an animated aspect of the universe they created. And I, as a fan, as a dork, as a lore nerd, I really, really appreciate that. I really fucking love that. I don't know why it's the meta to tell people to like and subscribe. Share this shit. Share it somewhere. Post it on Reddit. Post it on your Facebook. Like, share this. The Matrix has you. Made a serious effort to tie the Animatrix into other aspects of the franchise. For example, Final Flight of Osiris was shown in theaters preceding Matrix Reloaded. Also a tie-in to the Enter the Matrix game that was released around the same time. There are 9 stories in the Animatrix anthology. I would say that the floor, like the worst it gets, is good. The worst you're gonna see is just a good story, and then that ranges to great. When the Animatrix was initially released almost 20 fucking years ago, God, I'm old. I would say that I wasn't really a fan of all the animation styles presented in the Animatrix. I was a lot more narrow and ignorant in my taste. All these years later, I appreciated each and every style that was presented in the Animatrix. Each story is basically a new lens to view the Matrix from it. As a Matrix fan watching the Animatrix, my 2 personal favorite stories out of this anthology were actually the first 2. The Second Renaissance Part 1 and the Second Renaissance Part 2. I don't want to say too much more without spoiling the Matrix film. If this wasn't a tie-in, I'd probably be more liberty to explain what that's about. I do want to address the score I gave to the Animatrix, the 3 out of 5 score, which may seem weird with all the praise I've heaped upon this anthology. If someone was just to watch the Animatrix by itself and judge it on its own merits, if you're a Matrix fan, you're a fan of the Matrix, like, yeah, this is gonna be a 4 out of 5, possibly a 5 out of 5, but I'm trying to recognize my bias going into that. I recommend this to any fan of science fiction that is open to animation to tell a story, because I know there's some people out there that disregard stories and films and mediums just because they're animated. If you're that type of person, this is not the anthology that's going to change your mind. If you don't care that stories come from traditional film and or animation and you're into science fiction, this is an easy recommendation. On this channel, I review games and movies, and I stream the games I review. Either check the About section of this YouTube channel or check the links in the description to my Discord or my Facebook Facebook group where I post my streaming schedule. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. And like I said, if you like this video, share this shit. All right, peace out.